Hi everyone, welcome to the Practice and Master Excel YouTube channel. In today's video, we'll be talking about text functions. Text functions are used to manipulate data or text. Now think about instances where you want to modify text or you want to extract certain characters from a text. We use text functions in these cases or in this situation. Now we'll be talking about these 7 text functions in this video. So I will start by explaining each of the text functions and then we'll look at examples to show the applications of these text functions. We'll look at both basic and advanced examples in these videos. So starting with the left function. The left function is used to extract a specified number of characters from the beginning of a text. So in this case, we're extracting the first 2 characters from the text Excel and the output is EXX. Now the right function is used to extract a specified number of characters from the end of a text. So in this case, we're extracting the last 3 characters from Excel from the end. So the output is CEL. The mid function is used to extract a specified number of characters from the middle of a text. So for the mid function, you need to specify a start number, which is where the output would start from, or rather the result will start from, and the number of characters that we want to return. So in this case, we want to start from the second value, which is X, and then we want to return 3 characters. So that is XCE. The length function, which is the next one, is used to count the number of characters in the text. So the number of characters in Excel is 5, which is what we have here. Now the find and search function kind of perform the same operation. The only difference is that find is case sensitive, but search is not case sensitive. Now what does it do? Find or search function is used to return the position of a character in a text. So in this case, starting with the search function, we want to find the position of E in the text Excel, and we're starting from the beginning of the text. So E is at the first position here, as we can see. So expectation is 1, and which is what we have. Now, if we do the find, if we try to use the find function to get this value, so we want to find E. We want to find the position of E in Excel, starting from the first letter. So in this case, we would have 4. And this is because, like I said earlier, find is case sensitive. So in this case, find is searching for small letter E, right? So it would ignore this E because this is a capital letter E. And instead, it will give us the position of the small letter E, which is the 4th character in this text Excel. So we have 4. But search will give us the position of the first character, which is 1. Now trim. Trim removes extra unnecessary spaces from a text. Note that trim would not remove the regular single spaces between words. It will only remove the extra unnecessary spaces. Like in this case, I put in a space before Excel and a space after Excel, and then what trim does is trim would remove those spaces because it sees it as unnecessary. Now substitute is used to replace a character in a text with another character. So in this case, our text is still Excel, but we want to replace the character L, which is the last character in the text, with ED in this case. So as we have specified here. So if we press enter, Excel does that beautifully and we have exceed. So now let's go into the examples and see the real applications of the text functions. So we'll start with some basic examples. We have a table with the following data: product, customer ID, the delivery address. So we have data for these three columns, but then we want to extract the street number, the postcode, the customer ID number from these values. So how do we get the street number? The street number is the first three letters in the delivery address. So this is pretty straightforward because it's three letters all through. So there is a pattern. So the pattern makes it more straightforward. So we can start with that, equal to left, right? Since it's at the beginning of the text. So what is the text? The text is the delivery address, comma. Number of characters is 3 characters. So we put 3 in there and we have this. So we can drag down the formula to get the other ones. Now the next thing we want to get is the postcode. The postcode is these values at the end of the delivery address. So if you look at the data as well, the postcode is quite consistent and has a pattern. So it is the last 5 values in the delivery address. So how do we get these values? Equal to, we have to use right in this case since we're getting the values from the end of the text. So equal to right, the text, comma, number of characters is 5. By the time we drag this down, we get the postcode for all the delivery addresses. So now the customer ID number, what is this number? So if you look at the customer ID, we can see costs dash, there's a 5-digit number, then another dash. The 5-digit number is the customer ID number that we want to get. So if you look at this again, we can also see that there is a pattern. It follows cost dash, the 5-digit number, another dash, and then there is a 3-digit letter, and then there is a 3-letter word rather. So let's view the formula. Equal to mid. The text is the customer ID, in this case C4, comma. Where do we want to start from? So we want to start from 1, so we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're starting from the 6th character. Note that we also count the symbols as well. So you don't just count the letters or the numbers. You also have to count the symbols because it's a character. So 1 in this case is the 6th character. How many characters do we want? We want 5 characters because the customer ID number is 5 characters. So comma 5. And that is our function. So we can drag this down and then we get the rest of that. So this is pretty easy, pretty straightforward. But now let's look at more advanced examples. In this sheet, we have the customer name and the delivery address given. We want to find the first name from the customer name. We also want to find the address 1, city, and postal code from the delivery address. So now starting with the first name, right? So we can see that in the customer name, the first name and last name are separated by a space. Now we cannot use only the left function because if we look at it, the first name of each of the record have different number of characters, and we want to build just one dynamic formula that would give us the first name for all of this. So what we will do is that we will use left in together with search. Now how would this happen? The search would find the space, the position of the space, and then the left function would then return everything that is before the space. So starting with search, so search, and then we find the space, comma, within this text, comma, starting from 1. So the position of the space is 5. So what this means is that if we put the left function here, we will get the first 5 text, right? We'll get the first 5 characters, but the 5th character in this case is the space, and we don't want that. So we do -1 to remove the space. So now this gives us 4. And this means that if we put the left keyword, the left function here, we can extract the first 4 characters. So let's do that. Equals left, the text, comma, 4, which is the result of the search function. And that gives us the first character, which is an. So if we scroll down, we can see that the formula automatically adjusts for all of this. Now moving on to the next one, which is the address one. The address one is the first part of the delivery address just before the first comma. That is the address one. Now first, to get the address one in this case, we can see that the pattern is that it is separated by the first comma. So we can search for the first comma and then return everything that is before the first comma, similar to what we did for the first name. So now how do we do this? Equal to search, starting from the search. We're looking for comma, within the address, comma, starting from the first position. Enter. So in this case, the first comma is the 11th character. So if we put the left function on this, it will return everything that is before. So if we look at this, yes, so you can see that we still have the comma. This is because the search position returns the position of the comma. So the left keyword is going to give us everything from the beginning of the text up until the comma. So for us to get rid of the comma, we do -1 to remove the comma, and then that will give us the value that we need. So if we drag this down, the formula would automatically adjust for the rest of them. So now we want to find the city. The city in this case is Chicago. Here is Toronto. Here is Miami, and the like. So if you look, you can see that the city is between the first comma and the second comma, right? So now how do we extract this field? How do we extract this field? We need to find the position of the second comma minus the position of the first comma to get what is in between them. We then use the mid function to extract the text between, which is Chicago in this case, right? So now let's build this formula. So this is going to be a compound formula. So I'm going to start by, taking it step by step. So let's find the position of the first comma, right? The position of the first comma is search, looking for comma, within this text, starting from 1, right? Position of this comma is 11, right? Now, how do we find the position of the second comma? So still another search function, equal to search, right? We're looking for comma within this text, comma. Now the start number, we cannot start from 1, because if we start from the beginning, then we will get the position of the first comma. So we need to start from the position of the first comma plus 1, right? That's what will give us the position of the next comma, so that way we don't count the first comma, right? And this is what we have, 20. Now, what's the difference? 20 minus 11, 9. So basically, this is the number of characters that we have between the first comma and the second comma, right? Good. Now we need to use the mid function to then extract this text. So putting that together equal to mid, this text, comma, starting from, we want to start from C, Chicago, but how, we're building a dynamic formula, so we cannot just use a number. So in this case, we have to use the search function to search for the comma, and then we add 2 to it so that we can actually start from C, Chicago, right? So in this case, mid 24, searching for comma within this text, comma 1 plus 2. So the 2 is the comma and the space, so that way we will start from C. Yes, comma. So this is the starting number. Now the number of characters would be this, right? Close the bracket and enter. So looking at the final results, we still have a comma and a space, and this is because when you're finding the position of the first and the second comma, the commas are also included as well. So that is what is causing us to have this comma and space. But to avoid this, just do -2, right? And that will be cleared. So this is the formula broken down. And I'm going to, write out the formula all together without breaking it down in a moment. So this is the full formula without breaking down the formula, right? And with this, I can then drag down this formula to give me the city for all of the records, right? We are now down to the last example, which is finding the postal code. So looking at the delivery address, you can see that the postal code is just after the last comma, right? So everything after the last comma is the postal code. So in this case, it is 6611. In this case, it is M5H2N2 and the like. So that is the postal code. So how do we get this postal code, right? So this is the formula, but let me break down the formula because looking at it this way would be confusing. So I will just walk you through the formula. So the first thing that I did, right, was to substitute the last comma with hash, right, using this formula. So I substituted the last comma with hash and then left the other ones. Then the next thing that I did was to find the position of the hash, right? That's the next thing that I did, which is position 24, right? Then the next thing that I did was to find the length of this whole text, right? Minus the position of the hash, right? Which would give me the length of everything after the hash sign, right? Which is what I did here, and which is 6. Then the next step is to use the right function to get everything after the hash sign, right? Which is right of this, comma 6, right? Yes. And then with this, because after the hash sign there is a space, so I then use the trim function to trim off the space, that way getting just the postal code. So putting everything together, this is the formula that I have. So I scroll down and that would give me everything. That will give me the postal code for the rest of them. So thank you for staying till the end of this video. I'm going to have, this formula. I'm going to attach this file in the description box below because this contains the practice exercise. So here I have a table with customer name, ID, and the website. So what you need to do for the practice this time is to find the last name, the ID, the prefix, which is anything before the dash, the ID, the suffix, which is everything after the dash, right? The domain for the website, which is everything between @ and /, the customer initials, which is the first letter of the first name and the first letter of the last name, as is shown here. So I'd really encourage you to practice this because this way you really understand and master the text functions. So if you look from column 11 to 17, I have all the instructions. So it's the same thing I just explained, but if you need more details, it's in column 11 to 18. So this file will be in the description box below, and together you would also have all the examples that we discussed here. So please try to practice these exercises. So thank you for staying to the end of this video. Please like and subscribe this video, and also share this video as well to friends or people that you think can benefit from this video. Thank you so much.